Gains of monetary reforms in 2025 as inflation slows down efforts to return lost of leather industry in focus. Plus, a joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities steps up advocacy, demands inclusive policies. We have more on Panorama this afternoon. I am Musa Abubakar. Do stay with us. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the posting of 3 ambassadors designate out of the 68 confirmed by the Senate last December. Special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Nanuga, in a statement says President Tinubu confirmed the postings of ambassadors Ayodele Oke as the ambassador designate to France and Colonel Latif Ari as the ambassador designate to the United States of America. Also confirmed by the President is the posting of Ambassador Amin El-Hatu, former ambassador to South Korea, as the High Commissioner designate to the United Kingdom. In a memo to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, President Tinubu urged the ministry to notify the governments of the 3 countries about the ambassadors designate in accordance with diplomatic procedures. Hard reforms are beginning to show results in Nigeria as inflation eases, the currency steadies, and investors take a second look at Africa's largest economy. In this report, correspondent reviews the key monetary reforms that shaped 2025. The year 2025 marked a turning point for Nigeria's monetary policy, defined by firm inflation targeting, deep market reforms, and renewed confidence in the economy. The monetary policy rate was maintained at 27%, underscoring the bank's resolve to tame inflation and anchor expectations. Inflationary pressures, driven by earlier exchange rate adjustments, food supply shocks, and structural bottlenecks, gradually eased.
We are seeing consecutive disinflation. We are pleased. But I want to say something for the avoidance of doubt, and that is that our goal is for single-digit inflation. That's our goal. Okay, and that is something that we are very resolute on, and we will not stop until we get there.
By the final quarter of 2025, headline inflation moderated to 14.45%, reflecting the impact of sustained policy tightening. The central bank's message in 2025 was unmistakable. Price stability remains the primary mandate. To reinforce its stance, the CBN intensify open market operations, mopping up excess liquidity and curbing speculative demand, interest rate transmission, and strengthen monetary control across the financial system.
We have seen renewed investor confidence, supported by recent upgrades by the credit rating agencies, with the latest being S&P Global, which revised our rating from stable to positive.
Foreign exchange reforms remain a major pillar of policy in 2025. The willing buyer, willing seller FX framework was strengthened, while the Nigeria Foreign Exchange Code set new ethical standards for market operators. Nigeria's external reserves have grown to over $45 billion, enough to cover 10 months of imports, boosting confidence in the naira and the broader economy. In the banking sector, a recapitalization program took center stage, with 16 banks meeting new capital thresholds, reinforcing financial stability. Nigeria's monetary policy story is one of discipline, reform, and cautious optimism, anchored on inflation targeting, stronger reserves, and steady economic growth. In Abuja, now the newly sworn-in executive chairman of the Federal Character Commission, Hulayat Matun Rayo Omidiran, has declared a state of emergency on all operations of the commission to rebuild trust between government and the citizens. This was during the inauguration of the 5th board of the commission at its headquarters in Abuja. Ekene Indului reports.
It was the first official engagement of the newly inaugurated chairman and the 37 commissioners representing the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. At the top of discussions was growing concern over what the commission describes as a declining public perception among Nigerians, a development members say must be urgently addressed. While inaugurating the board, Chairman Huleyat Omediran stated that the overriding objective of the new leadership is to reposition the commission in a way that gives every Nigerian a genuine sense of belonging.
The era of blanket waivers will no longer be tolerated. The era of job racketeering is also over. Commissioners and staff, including stakeholders, must not tarnish the image of the commission by involving themselves in such practices.
The chairman also revealed that in the coming days, the commission will unveil a comprehensive 5-year strategic plan aimed at tackling existing challenges and repositioning the commission for greater impact. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
Now, one of the nation's fastest growing subsector in the non-oil economy is the leather industry, which is now serving as a vista for boosting Nigerian economy. Correspondent Yusuf Jika reports that this came to the fore during a facility tour at the Nigerian Institute of Leather and Science Technology embarked by the Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha.
Nigerian Institute of Leather and Science Technology under the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology is receiving a pat on the back by the Livestock Development Ministry owing to upgrade, expansion and quality of Nigerian leather in line with international standards.
We've always been looking outside and we have developed a long neck because we have been always looking across our borders. We need to come back home and then focus on what we can do. We have enough opportunities and this government under the able leadership of the President is ready to support us.
We will expect improvement in the production of livestock, improvement in consumption, and therefore the need for also increase in the number of leather and leather products technologies.
Minister Idi Mukhtar Meha had earlier engaged with the management of the National Animal Production Research Institute in Shika, where he rolled out plans to partner with livestock global giants to fast-track production processes in line with the Nigeria's broader livestock reform agenda. The minister, alongside special advisor to the President and coordinator, Presidential Livestock Reform Initiative, Professor Atahiru Jega, toured facilities in Napri and expressed commitment to ensure that facilities are optimally utilized to enhance livestock productivity and national food security. In Kaduna, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
The renewed Hope administration's commitment to sustainable infrastructure development has continued to attract widespread commendations from key stakeholders in the road sector. The latest of such commendations came from the national media team on a tour of the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway Legacy Project. Usman Zubairu has details.
The Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway, spanning over 1,008 kilometers, is a transformative project set to revolutionize Nigerian transportation landscape, boosting trade, opening new economic corridors, and strengthening ties between the country's northern and southern regions. So far, significant progress has been recorded, starting with the kilometer 108 in Katem village. The construction company handling the project is working on reinforcing concrete pavements in addition to the installation of solar street lights. In Kebbi State exit, over 135 kilometers artwork have been completed. Our construction work has an achieved appreciable level. Project teams promise to ensure that the highway meets world-class standard.
I'm doing about 500 meters of stabilization per day. Then I'm doing prime as well with it. And then my CRCP, I'm just waiting for my second batch plan to start.
And we are always encouraging you to continue with the effort you are making to ensure that this project completed a stipulated period of time.
From this very project, we've gone far with artwork up to kilometer 135.
Part of the tour were the Commissioner of Emergency Repairs failed culverts in Sokoto and Kebbi State. Members of the media tour team explained that the initiative is designed to enable Nigerians through the media access federal government's intervention in the road sector. Usman Zubairu, NTA News.
A coalition of 70 civil society organizations in the country has observed a delay in passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill could undermine timely preparations for the 2027 general elections. Under the banner of the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room at a media briefing in Abuja, the coalition noted that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is legally required to issue the notice of election next month. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room believes that for the electoral management body, INEC, to plan, implement and sensitize stakeholders under a revised legal framework, the Electoral Act Amendment Bill must be passed and assented to well in good time. Any further delay would place the entire 2027 election cycle at risk, as he stressed that credible elections are the foundation of democratic governance and national stability.
This is not the responsibility of INEC, let's be very clear. It's now the responsibility of Senate that has not concurred with the House of Representatives, you know. When it does that, you know, and the President speedily sign assent, okay, then that would build some measure of confidence on the general environment.
In another development, an election observer group, Yaga Africa, has charged INEC to improve on the integrity and accuracy of the voter register through timely revalidation of registration records and cleanup of the register.
What the National Voter Intention Survey is about, it's really helping stakeholders understand where citizens are with respect to preparations for 2027 election.
Let me reaffirm INEC's openness to partnerships that advance electoral integrity, citizen participation, and democratic consolidation.
We will continue to improve on all aspects of the electoral process, including higher voter turnout that will reflect the people's choice and mandate.
Yaga Africa, in stemming the tide ahead of the 2027 general election, conducted series of national voter intention surveys aimed at testing prevailing assumptions about voter interest and participation, while identifying the key drivers and barriers to citizen engagement. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Concerned APC Stakeholders Forum has called for the retention of the current zoning formula of the party national positions in the forthcoming 2026 Convention for Stability, Inclusion and Balance, as well as fairness in the administration of party affairs. The convener, Dr. Dominic Alancha, appreciated the current structure of the party's distribution of positions across the board and appealed for understanding in the spirit of oneness and promotion of internal party mechanism in all spheres.
It is our firm belief that retaining experienced leadership at the head of our party will clearly give exemplary visibility to the APC as the leading progressive political party in Nigeria.
The group expressed confidence in the renewed hope agenda of the federal government and the leadership of the party and assured of continued support and solidarity at all times. Member representing Kaura Namuda Birnding Magaji at the Federal House of Representatives, Sani Aminu Jaji, has led a high-powered delegation to the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress over alleged shortchanging of active members in the party's nationwide verification and validation exercise. Sani Jaji, who briefed journalists immediately after a closed-door session with members of the National Working Committee of the party, described the action as undemocratic and appealed to the NWC to look into the petition by concerned APC members, otherwise known as Jajia Movement.
They registered me as a sitting member of the House of Representatives, as somebody who served as the Director of Contact and Mobilization during the campaign of the 2023 general election. I said that, no, something is wrong somewhere.
Well, it's now time to join Fatima Hassan in our Makurdi Center, but that will be after the break.
Thanks for joining us in Makurdi. Boat mishaps have become frequent at various river crossing points across the state. This calls for proactive measures to forestall these occurrences. Ivan Solomon takes it up from here.
Of Benue State, resulting in the death of 5 children. On Monday, 19 January at about 11 p.m., a boat carrying 2 vehicles and many passengers capsized at the Buruku crossing point on the River Kasinala. 6 persons were confirmed dead and several others injured, with some still missing. The team from the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, led by the Commissioner Dennis Tezungwe Iyagigba, and representative of the State Emergency Management Agency, O.C. Gaius, visited the scene of the incident to ascertain the cause. The commissioner, who spoke off camera, promised to intensify effort to avoid a repeat of the incident. Iverin Solomon, NTA News.
Joining us in the studio to talk more on boat accidents in Benue State is the Commissioner for Marine and Blue Economy, Benue State, Tezungwe Iyagigba. Thanks for joining us on Panorama.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so boat mishap has become a recurring issue in Benue State. This week alone, that's on the 21st of January, 6 students returning to school drowned in a boat accident at the Buruku crossing point. What are the causes of this boat mishaps in Benue State?
First of all, let me say it was an unfortunate situation. And on behalf of the state government and the good people of Benue State, we extend our condolences to the families that lost their loved ones. The common causes of boat mishap, as we have them, is they are numerous, and I think one of them is overloading beyond the approved passenger limit and cargo limit. We have the non-use of life jacket. We have the use of old and rickety boats, which are not licensed. We have a lack of proper training of those who are operating on our waterways. We have seasonal rise in water level. In water level, yes. We have human negligence, and there are floating debris. Like sometime around, I can't remember the year, there was a boat mishap around Agatu. Okay. It had to do with a log of wood that was on the river, and the boat skipper could not locate it.
Okay, so talking about Agatu, it's one of the areas that the communities that we have had this road boat accidents. Like in 2025 October, 5 siblings drowned in the boat accident in Obagaji in Agatu local government area. So you have made mention of some of the factors that lead to this boat mishaps. Looking at the poor operational experience, what's your take on that?
First of all, let's give credit to whom credit is due. I will appreciate the effort of His Excellency, Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Umemalia, the Executive Governor of Benue State, for establishing the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. First of all, the ministry was established to become an institutional focus. What that means is that it becomes a focal point of all activities, marine activities, and those who are operating on waterways. What we have done so far when we came in is that we immediately activated emergency response and rescue operations during incidents such as the boat mishap you are talking about. We have deployed safety awareness campaign across river communities of Agatu and some other places around Benue State. And we're working in close collaboration with relevant government agencies such as Nigerian Inland Waterways Authority. We are working with the Marine Police. We're working with local government authorities. We're working with communities, community leaders, and we're equally working with the youth leaders around those communities to ensure the full implementation and enforcement of our safety procedures.
Okay. So one of the major costs that has been listed by most people out there concerning the boat accidents is the night travels. What's your take on that?
Thank you so much once again for that question, because the one that recently took place around Buruku can be wrapped around night travel. Actually, it was outside the approved limit of boat operations. The accident took place around 23:30 hours, that is 11:30 p.m. And unfortunately, when we got to the place, we were told that the skipper that took those passengers was not licensed. And he was a juvenile. Let me refer to him as a juvenile because he was a young guy that has never piloted those boats. He's only been operating with people around there, and he saw that as an opportunity of making quick money. And he now took advantage of that, and unfortunately, lives were lost.
Okay. So now, still talking about the operators of these boats, what is your establishment doing concerning licensed operators? Because I think it is one of the core causes of this boat accidents.
If you have been following what we're doing in the ministry sometime around December of last year, towards the end of December, we spoke about registration of all boat operators, and not just boat operators, every other person that is operating on our inland waterways. And what we have in mind is that we have to license everyone that is operating there so that we can be able to have institutional, oversight
to monitor
what is happening there. Yes, so these operators.
Thank you very much for joining us on Panorama today.
Okay, thank you so much.
So that wraps up our discussion from the Makurdi studio. It's back to Musa Abubakar in Abuja for the rest of Panorama.
Oh, thank you, Fatima Hassan. The Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities is tackling some key issues affecting it, keeping an eagle eye on its protecting, making sure elections are accessible to all, and pushing for tax reforms that benefit persons with disabilities. Our correspondent on disability matters, Gufan Shaji Ogwanyi, reports.
Gathered here at this meeting are the national leaders of disability communities in Nigeria, meeting under the umbrella of the Organization of Persons with Disabilities, OPDs. The aim is to address some major issues affecting the disability movement in the country.
As of January 2026, the use of our logo or any other related branding of Joint National Association of Persons with Disability has become a matter of a critical legal compliance. Training and the capacity building of technical staff on disability inclusion, voter registration, and continuous voter participation.
The Organization of Persons with Disabilities are also advocating for equity-driven tax reforms, including zero value-added tax on assistive devices, tax exemptions on medical drugs, and corporate tax incentives for employers who recruit persons with disabilities in Nigeria. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji Ogwanyi, NTNU.
Well, that concludes Panorama. Thanks for watching. Have a pleasant day.